Guys, Ryan Bidoff here, doing a live blab for the first time. But I didn't promote it. So I don't promote because I'm learning to get the ins and outs of blab. Let kind of get a feel for it in the background. Get my lighting down, all that good stuff, before I hop into full bore blab promotion. But really, guys, just like anything, with me, it's really informal. It's really chill. We do things island style here, so it's laid back. Tell you the truth, this is online reputation. I'm just finishing it up in orange. And this is what we're talking about, how to maintain your blogging reputation, how to maintain it. And that's a perfect example. Me licking my fingers, enjoying an orange. Now, does that look professional? Don't give a rat's booty if it looks professional or not. It's what I value. I got to keep my blood sugar high, and I got to keep my energy higher. I have to remain authentic to my brand. And in truth, guys, I really haven't promoted these at all. I think I've sent out a link, and I haven't promoted the Google Hangouts I've been doing recently. I've done some live Hangouts on air, but I'm not really promoting them because the point is not to bring a ton of people to see me to do it live. It's number one, to kind of learn the ins and outs of each platform. And then more than that is to perform with nobody looking at me. Then I won't panic and go, no. It's just what I have fun doing. Like, okay, let me do a blab now and let me record it and then people can check it later. Also, too, I really don't like to be tied down. I don't know why I'm going into this, but I guess it's just a clarity thing. I don't like to be tied down to any set time. This is one of the first times ever I said, okay, in 15, 20 minutes, whatever, I'm going to put a blab out there. It's not about, for me, what's most fun to me. It's not about trying to get a zillion people to listen to me live. I know that can accentuate the experience, whatnot, but again, it's a busy dude, and I do what's most fun to me. So, maybe down the road, if people really beg me to do the live stuff and I'm really feeling like it's fun, I'm like, okay, that could be fun. I'll do it. When I say the live stuff, I mean really promote it. But for now, I just want to record it, nobody in the background, and then listen to it at your leisure, because I'm all about the passive income, the passive creation, not being tied down, and you guys know that's part of my brand. Really, that's what my brand is built upon. And now we're in New Jersey for a bit. I have super quick internet connection, but in many moons, maybe in fewer moons, we will be. I really hope this is yeah, it's recording. Okay. We will be traveling again. And when I am traveling, between the time differences and the quality internet and a lot of these off the beaten path, in the middle of nowhere places, well, you know what's going to happen. No more live shows. It'll be all pre-recorded. But that's okay. If we have an internet connection, you pull that off. Long story short, today's not going to be a really long blab because I have to eat. Because some awesome news this morning. It looks like I'm going to be in talks with someone to be featured on National Geographic. They're going to talk about my holy-ish I'm sick with Jardia experience in India. And it's going to be really first-class, first-rate British production company. At least it looks like. We'll see. Either way, it's really cool that I manifested it. And they're going into this new series they're developing, groundbreaking series, talking about sickness from the inside out. I guess kind of maybe a more humorous air from what I got from the email. So I'll chat with someone from the company really soon, and then I'll keep you guys updated. Give you the 401. So, how to maintain your blogging reputation. It's not as difficult as you think. There's one key, fundamental, energetic step that you take to maintain your blogging reputation. Now, why did I do this blab? Why am I broaching this topic of discussion? I think the lead in, again, it's really fitting. I'm sitting here licking my fingers, finishing an orange. And I think, okay, how many folks would be terrified where everything has to be perfect for the 1080 HD camera? This is a basic camera on my laptop, as you could tell by now, but who gives a shit? There is, my little background, and my hair's kind of funky, and this is all just, it's what I'm clear on. It's me. But I know so many bloggers and podcasters and people, it's just, they're so terrified to do anything that's even the most deviant from their brand, or they think, well, if I don't have a 1080 HD camera, if I don't do my videos in 1080 HD, or if it's not the most perfect setup, I'm going to lose my reputation. My brand is going to be tarnished. The issue with this type of brand management with your blog, say if you're doing stuff like this or whatever it is, writing blog posts, is that in brand management, blogging reputation management, if you will, like trying to manage your brand. The biggest issue with it by far is that almost every single human being you encounter online, most at least, really a striking majority, especially bloggers, they're maintaining or managing their reputation from a place of fear. As in, what if this happens? What if people perceive me this way? Things will go wrong. Things will go south really quickly. Now you saw me. I wanted to specifically, I should have probably eating well, not orange, they're actually clementines. They're really juicy. And I was going to eat a couple. I'm like, I don't want to get off of my cue board. So I wasn't eating it really during the video as much. It was more licking my grubby paws. But for me, guys, because I'm not scared of what people will think if I'm eating a clementine on a blab and it's authentic and it's real, what do I care? I'm going to do it. Because I don't even think about maintaining my brand. I don't think about maintaining my blogging reputation. I don't think, what are people? Because that's what it boils down to. How do people perceive you? What do they think about you? And that's always going to be an inside-out thing. Like if you feel a certain way inside, no matter what people say, do, or think in response to you being you and you doing you on your blog, it's not going to affect you. They could be like, a whole tide of people can go turn around and say, listen, Ryan, your blog is garbage. I hate how you write. You write like a second grader on, with ADD who's loaded up, hyped up, jacked up on PEDs. There's no rhyme or whatever. They could say 15 million different things, but if I don't care, because deep within I do one thing, inside world, then the outside will continually reflect back to me more and more and more whatever I'm feeling. And it's almost always in the form of people who support the hell out of you, who follow you into the fire. We're talking about brand advocates, success, money, fame. And again, Nat Geo, how big time is that? I've been on Richard Branson's blog, Forbes. I mean, actually on Virgin. I've been on Forbes. I've been on Neil Patel many times, Blogging Tips, guest post every week with Zach Johnson, one of the biggest icons online, ProBlogger.net. I mean, these are like really, and now it looks like Nat Geo, we'll see, but it's like, how do you maintain your brand, your blogging brand, to appear on these sites or a TV show? You're going to do one thing, and this is how you maintain your blogging reputation. And we're not going to go, step by step, because there's really one thing you have to do. You proceed always according to what you most value. That's how to maintain your blogging reputation. And what do I mean by that? Well, what do you most value? What is it your brand says? What do you personally most value? Like me, I teach people how to retire to a life of island hopping through smart blogging. I value writing about blogging and traveling and combining those two loves of mine. So as I'm proceeding online, everything I do is going to be related to those two, virtually most of what I do, or pretty much everything I do on my blog, related to those two energies. And it's really an energy thing with the value, because a lot of folks would think, the idea that came to mind last night. Okay, first off, you proceed according to what you value, so you're going to be in love with it. You're going to always be working from that space. So naturally, it's going to happen. People who value what you value, as you attract them, as you connect with them, as you get ideas, as you just become an absolute energetic dynamo, a magnet to these folks, these circumstances, these guest post opportunities, blog post ideas, blab ideas, podcast ideas, hangout ideas. Your brand is going to spread like wildfire, and your reputation is going to take care of itself. Even if a number of people come in, if you're moving along according to what you value, you don't do anything that deviates from that. You could have 5, 10, 15, wave of people, bad reviews, this and that. It won't bother you, because you have your reputation. Not you have your reputation. That's not the right word. You have your integrity. You're being genuine. You're being authentic. You didn't change anything. So who cares what these folks say? They don't value what you're putting out there anyway, so they're not, it's all about them. You know, you're not saying anything that would have tweaked them or gotten them angry. You know, you're not looking for a fight, basically. You didn't jump outside of that value zone. Now, the problem is when you jump outside of that value zone, outside of the value zone, you know, you value certain things energetically, you know, you really appreciate it, you feel a certain way based on fear. You make the jump based out of fear. You know, I'm not connecting with enough people, my audience is not growing enough, I'm not making enough money, whatever it is. Enough people don't know about my brand. I'm so desperate to be on these world-renowned sites. Look at this Ryan guy on Virgin, on Forbes. How do you get there? You know, I just got to do whatever I can. And if there's that, basically the fundamental core idea, online rep, how to maintain it. If you're doing it from a place of fear, you're effed, screwed, freaked in a bad way, because you're going to do stuff that will attract a lot more folks to really, really tell you how unclear you are and how much you moved outside of your value zone. And then your reputation, no problems. You know, that's just people's perception of you. But your fear in you, as more of these people move into your life and say you're garbage, you're this, you're that, unless like you're the most stout, devout, present person, it's going to freak you out. And you're going to think, I have to maintain my reputation. I made some big mistakes here. You really haven't made any mistakes. You just walked out of your value zone because you did stuff based out of fear instead of faith, instead of clarity, instead of confidence, being in the moment. However, here's a really, really nice little twist on it. Because you're thinking about maintaining your blogging reputation. You know, when people say good things about me and my brand to support me, awesome. What do you most value? And whatever it is, it's going to be different from person to person. You know, freedom, inspiring people. So you just move forward in that value zone. But say you're a pro island hopping blogger. And this is a graphic example. Not graphic, off color. But you guys know how I operate. I'm doing this not to shock you. And again, this is my brand. This is what I value. So you could appreciate it. And you know this is me doing it not from a place of wanting you, you know, the desperation. I want more views or I want more shares on this when it goes, you know, when I promote it, I want it to be tweeted more. No. It's just, it will help you realize how brand management works. Blogging reputation, how you maintain your rep. Talking about going outside the value zone. I value this. I do keep it high energy. I put some colorful stuff on there, some swear words, so, you know, people could say a little lower energy, but it's me. It's being authentic. I still value it because I know that it's just me being authentic and connecting with you, and it's fun. It's not faked. It's not forced. It's not done out of fear. Let me curse here to get some, just like, you know, I let the words fly sometimes. Whatever. It's it. So naturally, people reflect back to me who love it. And if you didn't, it wouldn't bother me because I value it and I know I didn't do anything to hurt them. I didn't do it out of fear. I didn't do it to try to get them in. There's no manipulation here. So I stayed in my value zone. That's how I maintain my blogging rep. Now, if I were to say, you know what, I'm not getting enough views on my blog post, I got to get some more pop. And I released, I'm going to an extreme because people literally do stuff like this, or they do stuff, maybe not bloggers that I know. I haven't done enough, thorough enough Google searches. But if I release something like a sex tape, it sounds weird. It sounds, what is it? But it's literally, it would be something that obviously right away, because I did it out of fear, I moved out of my value zone. I did something extreme, and it really could be anything. It doesn't have to be anything that extreme. But you'd be like, wow. And what would be reflected back to me? I mean, I'd lose probably a lot of my followers, a lot of my friends, my network, and my blogging reputation pretty much be in the crapper because I built it on what I valued for so many years, and I had so much fun and helping and uplifting people. Then, instead of doing it from a high energy clear space, and not from a place of fear, but, you know, oh, my reputation, I don't even really think about it. I'm just having fun. I'm not worrying. I'm doing it from a really authentic space, a clear space. The second I stepped outside of that what I value zone and I did something out of fear, you know, this will have some shock value. That's where the trouble begins. And you start doing stuff, and it can be, that's an extreme case because it's just like, really, I want to go 180. She'd be like, wow, you know, he'd never do that. No, of course not. Don't Google me, guys. That's not a perverse. Well, just don't Google Ryan Beddoes. I don't want that I don't want that to start ranking. But in all seriousness, guys, it's something where I did it out of fear. If I were to do that, I would do it out of fear, out of worry, out of, you know, lack and limitation. And if that was the predominant vibe, you know, that's my reputation was built on, being high energy, being funny, colorful stories, getting a little salty sometimes, but just helping folks retire to a life well and hopping through smart blogging from a really intensely loving, caring, gratitude-filled, appreciative space. So the second I stepped outside of that space and I did something out of fear, I don't value, you know, releasing something salacious or something really nasty or dirty or filthy, then of course my reputation would go to crap. You don't have to go through anything really step by step, in depth, really detailed. It doesn't have to be something that's, I should say, telephone, really in depth. And obviously there's a lot of brand management agencies out there, and people talk about maintaining your blogging brand or your blogging rep. You really don't have to move into that area. Getting super, super detailed. Just move ahead according to what you value. What do you most value? Don't move outside of that. Now, on the flip side, and what I wanted to bring the sex tape idea out there, it doesn't have to be super, quote unquote, as most people say, positive. It's whatever you've built your brand upon, whatever you've built your rep upon. There are some people that build a reputation on the adult film industry. Say some of these adult film actors and actresses, some of these porn actors. They value what they do. That's why they live that life. That's what they've built their rep on. That's what they have their followers, you know, based in that area. So if they were to release a sex tape, they've maintained their online reputation and their offline reputation. It's more of an expectation thing. They value that. Their followers value it as well. And then they're like, oh, great. You know, I could check them out, you know, Bucky naked in action behind the scenes, or, you know, Julius Pleaser. I had to add a little bit of humor, guys. You know, this is me. Never seen any of these videos in my life. The nuns told me they'd wrap me on the knuckle, Sister Pasquale. So all my high school years, those formative years, those very awkward years, I was never watching any stuff like this, just so you know. Was it time to drop a Peter North reference? I don't know. Maybe down the road. But anyway, guys, it's one of those things where when you're thinking about maintaining your rep and you're like, you know, I just want people to think a certain way about me. Move away from that, because when you want people to do something, it's still coming from fear because you're trying to manipulate them. You can't force them to think, say, or do anything, and proceed according to what you value. And if you proceed according to what you value, and I prefer to keep it high energy, but it could be anything. You know, you could be based in the gossip industry, you know, blogging gossip or whatever, like a Perez Hilton. That's what he values, and he's going to reflect that value back to him through people who really like to follow him. And of course, you know, maybe in something like that, what I view it as a little lower energy, if he's not totally clear on it, I don't think he is, because you're going to attract a lot of hate too. You know, you try to pick apart other people or whatever. Usually it's going to, since we're all connected, it's just going to flow back to you. Hey, to each their own, man. The guys really rocked it out. You know, I give them credit, and that's that. But the thing is, if you want to maintain your blogging rep, move forward, not with the idea to manipulate or to create this perception to be really attached to that, because it's a lower energy, that's lower on the energy spectrum. So don't worry about that. Go within and move forward, proceeding diligently according to what you value. What do you most value? What do you most want to do with your life? How do you most want to inspire folks, have more fun with their lives, how to free them? And just in my case, it's blogging from paradise. Talk about blogging, talk about traveling. I mix the two, and I do it from a really fun, high energy space. At least that's my intent, and I feel it's rather authentic and genuine too. This is what you get. You know, I met Zach Johnson recently, blogging icon. You know, we had lunch down by the Jersey Shore. And when I meet folks, I see with him, he's the real deal because he is offline how he is online. I think with me, I've had enough bloggers who told me the same thing. So I'm always going to proceed with that idea in mind. And yeah, you know, there are moments in some human where I might think, you know, oh, I can do this, I can kind of do that. Nothing really super colorful. I'm not talking about releasing the, you know, the tape or anything like that, but just something, you know, where I move into that space of maybe I move a little outside of what I value for, like, I'm thinking about it, you know, stronger financial gain or whatever. Just in these split seconds, these moments, this is it. And then in those moments when I'm even thinking about moving outside of, what I most value, I change in my mind. I start thinking, my rep would change a little bit, How would that be perceived? Not from a place of worry, but from a place of, I think I'm not being true to myself. So really, be true to yourself, be genuine. What do you most value? Keep proceeding with that. Keep doing everything you do online according to that. And it's the biggest piece of cake, because once you get this down pat, you'll never have to worry about maintaining your rep again. Because anybody that tries to knock you down, or negative reviews, or really scathing reviews, if you're doing you and moving forward, I keep saying moving forward, but that's what it is, because it's like everything you do online. It's authentic, it's genuine, it's based on what you most value, what you're clear on. What's naturally going to happen is anybody that tries to come put a pin in your balloon, either the pin's going to blunt or the balloon's going to be made out of concrete. No, maybe not quite like that analogy. But they can't. You'll be built up to such a point where you could imagine well, no, actually, that's probably isn't the best analogy. I was going to kind of think about it like a dirigible analogy. I was going to talk about a blimp, the Goodyear blimp with a railroad spike, but that's more like building your ego up. Long and the short of it, when you do it from high energy space, you move forward according to what you value, you're going to be in good shape. Because anybody who criticizes you, it's not going to bother you, and it's not going to sway your brand advocates, because they know, okay, this guy moved forward, he's clear on what he's doing, or this gal. They're really empowering, they're really inspiring people. They remain true to their brand, so their rep isn't going to change. You're going to know that those people from the outside, they're not reflecting back to you deviating. That's just them doing them being maybe a little unhappy or unclear, because you're clear. But if you try to do it the other way around, we try to manipulate people. This is the analogy. This is where I was going. It came up in my mind during my walk the other day. It's like a balloon when you do it on a small scale, when you really try to manipulate, I just try to work so hard to get people to think good about me. And then your rep goes up, your reputation goes up, maybe you get known a little bit better, and you start getting a little ego drunk, you start thinking, man, these people love me, and it's like a little balloon with a pin, and somebody comes along, and if your circle of influence is relatively small, they come along with a pin, and they pin you. You're the balloon, little balloon, it pops, boom, you're destroyed. That's the saying when one person comes along and gives you a bad review, and you're like, man, they spoiled my freaking day. That's on a smaller scale. So that's why you don't want to do that. You just want to move according to what you value, stick to it, you're good to go. If you really build up this massive empire, well, you can't really build up a massive empire in that, but if you do your best and you're growing at a quick pace and you've become so skilled in maintaining your rep and getting people to perceive you in a certain way and working so hard to do things from the outside in, which is always disaster, your ego is going to grow more and more, and you're just going to be thinking, man, people love this about me, and everybody loves me, and most people, maybe a bad review here or there. Eventually, what's going to happen is there's going to be a wave of people, because you can't manipulate circumstances. Nobody's that good. You can't manipulate people. You can't manipulate people to love your brand, to be obsessed, have this reputation that's just flawless, and, amongst everybody, because what's going to happen? It's going to bite you in the booty eventually. So this is like, as you get bigger and bigger and more well-known, being like the Goodyear blimp or a hot air balloon. And you're just up here and everything's so good, and you're thinking, you know what, nobody could touch me now, man, everybody loves me, and somebody comes along with a railroad spike, pops the Goodyear blimp, pops the balloon, hot air balloon, and the deflation goes down, and this is when people crash and burn. Something comes out because they tried so hard to manipulate, they moved so far away from what they valued just to get people to like them, and then this is when you see the people crashing and burning, just totally falling apart. Guys, I gotta friggin' eat, man. Well, when you've seen the recording, who knows? But I gotta roll. Neck's a little itchy, but you're gonna maintain your blogging rep by not worrying about it, of course, and by just moving forward according to what you value all the time. Whatever you love most, whatever you value most, keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. This way, when the fans come in and the brand advocates, they'll expand, they'll expand, they'll expand. You get more and more famous, more and more well-known, be popping up on really well-known sites, your friend base, you'll have so much love and support around you. They value what you value. They're just reflecting that back to you. And anybody who comes along who doesn't value that, tries to knock you down, it's not going to bother you. So you've maintained your blogging reputation. Your rep's there. You're all good. And anybody that thinks, oh, you've hurt your reps, people might even say that, you're damaging your reputation. Of course you're not. And you're going to feel it. You're going to be clear on it. You're going to be like, no, I'm moving according to what I valued. This is what I value. This is what I do. It's them having problems with themselves. And this is also another great way, as you can see, the good old effect of the phrase I'm thinking, piggyback effect, addressing those critics. Guys, that's it for today. Stop by bloggingparadise.com. Sign up for my free updates. Used to be weekly email newsletter. Now it's like my Blogging Paradise ebook of the week on Wednesday. And maybe I'll do some audiobooks in there too coming soon. So usually I send that out, and an email on Mondays. Might be more. We'll see eventually. It's pretty much it. Maintain your blogging rep. 124 ebooks on my homepage. Go through, enjoy them. They're really fun reads. And I also have, and again, it's doing things from the inside out. Right-hand side, you're going to see that 11 Fundamentals of Successful Blogging. It's my audio course where I riff. I have so much fun. It'll help you build a profitable blog. If you want to blog from paradise like me, from Fiji for 4 months, or from Bali for 6 months, wherever you want to go in the world, whatever you want to do, it's the soup to nuts, really in-depth course. You take notes, replay it, play it before you go to bed, let it seep in your subconscious mind, get some really colorful analogies. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's the 11 Fundamentals of Successful Blogging, and I also included tons of practical tips, tons of fun stories, fun analogies, and very entertaining, very, very colorful teaching/learning vehicle that will help you build a successful blog from the ground up, from the inside out. 10 frequently asked questions from bloggers, and it's just the questions that I get a lot, so I'm like, let me just address it in an audio file, quote unquote, whatever they say. Let me yak about it, so I could address it. So you're like, I have these questions, stuff I was thinking about, or stuff that may come up as you work your way through your career, whether you're beginner, intermediate, veteran, whatever it is. It's really, really fun lessons, guys. Really inspire you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for your support. Until next time. Now I have to see where the recording ends. Enjoy paradise.